Welcome back for part 3 of my smart bulb series. My original plan was to compare the Aqara T2 with the Nanoleaf and the Hue and call it a day. But then within the last week, Hue released 2 new smart bulbs and a new Bridge Pro. And here's the twist. Some of the things that I just praised the Aqara T2 for, Hue actually does better. See, in part 2, I reviewed the Aqara T2 smart bulb, but today we're stacking it up against the Nanoleaf, the Hue, both the old and the new. Hey, I'm Robert, and Oconee Smart Homes exists to make real homes more convenient, accessible, and safe with smart home technology. We serve real customers right here in Oconee County, Georgia, but this channel is for anyone who wants to make a simpler, smarter home. Here's who's in the ring. First is the Aqara T2 RGB, which is an affordable, Matter-ready smart bulb that supports both Thread and Zigbee. And then we have the Nanoleaf Essentials, which is a Matter over Thread light bulb, which has strong colors, though it's harder to find right now. We have the original Philips Hue white in color, followed by the brand new Hue Essentials, which is a dual protocol smart bulb supporting Thread and Zigbee, which means you don't actually need a Hue bridge to use this bulb. And on the end, we have the new Hue White in Color 1000, which promises a wider range of whites, smoother dimming below 1%, and of course it supports the new Hue Bridge Pro. Just a note, I don't actually have the new Hue Bridge Pro yet, so that's not a factor in any of the testing or demonstration. Today, we're going to compare lighting specs, connectivity and ecosystems, reliability and real-world use, as well as pricing. Hopefully everything that you would think about when considering buying one of these products. And at the end, we hope to reach a verdict on which product is the best one for your smart home. Let's jump into it. Let's do our first test for usability and reliability. Here we're just turning on and off the bulbs a couple of times together to see how they respond, how quick they are, and if any lag behind. And actually, after doing this a few times, most of them are consistent, but the Hue Essential does fail to respond quickly occasionally. Now we're going to look at the brightness of all of the bulbs, beginning with the Aqara T2, which measures in at 1040 lux, followed by the Nanoleaf at 1461. Then we have the original Hue White in Color with 1035 lux, the new Hue Essential falling below 1000 at 988 lux, and the brand new Hue White in Color coming in at 1012 lux. This actually means that the Nanoleaf is the brightest at 1461 lux. When it comes to dimming, the new Hue White in Color is really impressive. It can dim below 1% to 0.2%. We started from the top at 100% and worked our way down, and at 1%, most of the bulbs fell off. And I actually had to use a specific app to set the new bulb to 0.2%, but here are the results. When it comes to white tones, the new Hue White in Color bulb really surprised me. See, in my review of the Aqara T2, I pointed out how it had one of the widest ranges of white tones available in any smart bulb on the market, all the way from 2000 Kelvin on the warm side to 9000 Kelvin on the cool side. But let's take a look at warm and cools across these bulbs today. Starting with cool, the new Hue cools down to 20,000 Kelvin. And on the warm side, it's able to go even lower than the Aqara to 1000 Kelvin. Now let's take a look at colors. There are different winners for different colors. And while we're measuring brightness, we're actually also looking for the vibrance, the depth, and the trueness of the color. So let's start with red. All the bulbs do a nice red without washout, but surprisingly, the original Hue had the brightest at 145 lux, followed by the new Hue at 81 lux. So I'm calling the winner the old Hue, and second place, the new. For orange, the new Hue measured in at 218 lux, coming in first place. And while the Nanoleaf measured as the second brightest, it was also the most washed out. I'd barely call it orange, so we'll give the second place to the old Hue. Yellow. I can't say I'm impressed with any of the yellow bulbs, as the color just doesn't seem true to me. But the Nanoleaf is the brightest at 380 lux, followed by the Aqara at 340. Now green, I love the greens. All of these bulbs look great in green, but Nanoleaf was the brightest at 435 lux. And the new Hue was the second brightest, but maybe also the richest green but I am willing to say that that's a matter of opinion. For blue, brightness and depth of color may not be correlated here at all. While I think that the new Hue has the truest blue, the Nanoleaf is the brightest. So I'm gonna put them in Hue at first place, Nanoleaf second. Purple is a hard color, but Hue has always done it well, and this is no exception. The new Hue comes in at 1200 lux, and the original Hue follows behind at 940. The other bulbs are too washed out for me to consider a true purple. So the summary on colors is this. Hue and Aqara are both strong. Bright, saturated, reliable. Nanoleaf does well on the blue and green end of the spectrum, but washes out on the reds and oranges. And the Hue Essential didn't win in any category. Now let's talk ecosystems and protocols. All of these bulbs support Matter, which means they're going to work across your ecosystems like Apple Home, Amazon Alexa, Google Home, etc. But they offer different protocols. Hue is known for their reliable Zigbee bridge, and the new bulbs were released at the same time as the new Bridge Pro. But they also come with Thread connectivity, which means you can use them without a Hue bridge. Aqara is similar, offering Zigbee for their hub and Thread for your direct Matter connection. And then there's Nanoleaf. The Nanoleaf Essentials bulbs that I have in my home support Thread. But the ones that you'll likely find online right now are Wi-Fi, and you may want to think twice about that. We'll dig deeper on that in the next video on protocols. Now let's talk price. Of course, with Hue, you're going to pay a premium for both the bulbs and the new bridge, but let's break it down. The new Hue White and Color is going to cost you $71. The original is still on sale for $55, and the Hue Essential is only $25. You can find the Nanoleaf in multi-packs as low as $12 a bulb, but you're going to have a hard time finding the Matter over Thread version and are most likely going to end up with a Wi-Fi bulb. And then you have the Aqara T2, which is a nice affordable middle ground at $25. And with the Hue Essential and the Aqara T2 coming in at the same price, if you're in that price range, the Aqara T2 is your better option. So that was the test. What did you think of the results? I guess the final question is, what's the verdict? Who wins? And while each bulb did stand out on its own in one category or another, for the sake of your purchasing, we need to narrow it down to just one or two winners. So here's what I'd say. If you're looking for an affordable Matter-ready smart bulb and are just getting started, the Aqara T2 probably wins. While it came in second place to the Hue in most of the lighting categories, it's a second place that's far and above the rest. And with the price point, that just makes sense. But if you're planning to outfit your whole home, or are already in Hue's ecosystem, or are looking for a bulb with the best whites, the widest range of dimming, and rock-solid reliability, Hue just re-earned its crown. And honestly, that's the twist that I didn't expect when I started this comparison, because the new Hue White and Color had not been released yet. Now, on the other side, I will have to say that the Hue Essential bulb is probably, for now, one that you just need to leave on the shelf. This was part 3 of my smart bulb series. In the next video, we're going to dive deep into protocols, talking about Thread, Zigbee, and yes, even Wi-Fi, and how those relate to Matter. I'm going to try to keep it approachable while still giving you all the technical details that you need. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss it.